nature. Lord Chaitanya therefore says, by my order you may become a spiritual master. One can immediately become a spiritual master by having by having full faith in the transcendental words of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and by following his instructions. Materialistic men are not interested in taking directions from a liberated person, but they are very much interested in their own concocted ideas, which make them repeatedly fail in their attempts. Because the entire world is now following the imperfect directions of conditioned souls, humanity is completely bewildered. So now we know that everyone makes mistakes. So from that we know that most of the people in this world are conditioned souls. Next is illusion or Maya. Everyone is in Maya. For example, if I go up to a random person and I ask, who are you? He might say, I am Mr. Hong Chong-ping, the rich and respectable CEO of Hong Chong-ping Museum of Ancient Chinese.
Who is Hong Chong-ping? Huh? Do you know who Hong Chong-ping is? No?
It's just a random name.
Oh, okay. I thought it was somebody that, it didn't sound like a devotee, it sounded like Hong Chong-ping. Okay, go ahead.
That is, he identifies himself as the body, not the soul. That is just one of the many examples of illusion. Next is the cheating propensity. Even from a young age, everyone cheats. A young child may copy off the paper of the person sitting next to him on a test.
You cheat? Oh, no. Okay, go ahead. In video games? Board games? Oh, okay. That's B-O-R-E-D? Board games, yeah.
Last is imperfect senses. In the introduction of the Ishopanishad, it says, we are very proud of our eyes. Often someone will challenge, can you show me God? But do you have the eyes to see God? You will never see if you haven't the eyes. If immediately the room becomes dark, you cannot even see your hands. So what power do you have to see? We cannot therefore expect knowledge Veda with these imperfect senses. With all these deficiencies in conditioned life, we cannot give perfect knowledge to anyone, nor are we ourselves perfect. So now we know that a liberated soul is very rare based on these constraints. To advance in Krishna consciousness, it is necessary to follow directions from a liberated soul.
Okay, the first quote, 4:18:5, right? What does it say again?
It's the purport, and it says, at the present moment it has become fashionable to disobey the unimpeachable directions given by the acharyas.
Okay, one second. What's unimpeachable mean?
Cannot be like, I don't know.
What? I asked him, what does unimpeachable mean? He used that word in the next one. Well, yeah, so now read the sentence again with that word.
At the present moment, it has become fashionable to disobey the unimpeachable directions given by the acharyas and liberated souls.
Okay, so unimpeachable, disobey the unimpeachable what? Directions?
Yeah.
Directions given by the acharyas, right? So unimpeachable means that you cannot deny it. So they're trying to, huh? Yeah, okay. So if something is unimpeachable, it's completely true. You cannot deny it, right? So when it says it's fashionable to disobey the unimpeachable directions given by the acharyas, that means people are denying something that you can't deny, that's completely trustworthy, because they're rascals, they're nonsense, they're completely demoniac. So they want to deny something that is impossible to deny. Right? That's completely trustworthy. Okay, so read the rest of it. It's become fashionable to disobey the unimpeachable directions given by the acharyas. Then what does it say?
And the liberated souls of the past.
And liberated souls of the past. Okay, that's a very good quote. Where did you get that quote from?
We just read Srimad Bhagavatam at home, so I came across this verse. We were reading the 4th canto, and then I got the purport. So
good. Okay, who else did their homework? Arush Prabhu. Well, that was very well done. Thank you.
The question was, what is the difference between the liberated soul and the conditioned soul? First, we need to know the meaning of liberated and conditioned soul. Conditioned soul means he's under the 3 modes of material nature. Liberated soul means he's not under the 3 modes of material nature. That means he's in transcendental goodness. The difference between liberated and conditioned soul is the conditioned soul do things which please himself, and he also never has real happiness, which is pleasing Krishna, and he also always does good or bad karma, and they love and hate things. They don't use it for Krishna's service, and they have material desires. They can't see their real position because they identify themselves as the body, not soul, and they are not steady, and that means they are not disciplined. And liberated souls do things which please Krishna, always has real happiness, always does akarma. They are neutral. Neutral means they don't love or hate things. They just see if they can use it for Krishna's service and reject things not favorable to Krishna's consciousness. They have Krishna consciousness desires. They can see their real position, which is eternal servant of Krishna, and they are steady.
Very good. Excellent. So what verses did I tell you to look at to answer the question?
What?
Yeah, right. Very good. Excellent. Anyone else did their homework? Okay. Krishna did his homework partially.
Not the conditioned soul part, so.
You did the liberated part?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll do both of the homework today's and last week's today.
Okay,
So.
you're gonna have a lot of homework today.
Yeah. So how to recognize a liberated soul is the liberated soul does not hate illumination. What does it mean by illumination? Like
okay, so let's say the light's off, it's nighttime, and you can't see anything, right?
Yeah.
So when you turn the light on, everything gets illuminated. So now you can see, right? So it means that you're able to understand things.
So one who does not hate illumination, one who does not hate attachment, one who does not hate delusion, and he is unwavering and undisturbed through all the material reactions.
That verse says one who does not hate illumination and attachment and illusion. Nor does it desire it when they're absent. See, it's both things. It doesn't hate it, nor does he desire it. Go ahead.
They're unwavering and undisturbed through all the material reactions. They're neutral and transcendental. They know that the modes above are active at all times. That's why. They're situated in the self, regards all happiness and distress, who looks at
Wait a
earth.
minute. Regardless, right?
Regardless.
Okay.
Who looks at earth, rock, and gold equally. Who is equal and unequal to something desirable and undesirable. One who is steady in his Krishna consciousness. One who is situated equally well in praise or blame. And yeah. There's
Okay.
more. There's one more. Wait, what is it?
What? What is it? You said there's some more?
Yeah,
Or
there's
that's
like-
where you stop.
Yeah, that's where there's
Okay.
one more.
So that is the 14th chapter, verses 22 to 25, right? Yeah. And what does it mean by remains neutral?
Remains neutral. Like, if anything, there's like, oh, a gaming desktop or something, and then maybe there's like prasadam, then he's equal to both of them. Actually, no, not prasadam. Let's say, yeah, he sees everything on the same way.
So if he sees a homeless person and
He
a
sees-
rich
yeah.
person, that he sees them equally.
Yeah, he sees with an equal eye.
Okay. What does it mean, though, exactly, to see something equally? In other words, is gold and stone the same?
No.
Oh,
Then-
but they're made by Krishna.
Oh.
Yeah, that's now you're getting real hot.
He sees
Yeah.
everything in relation to Krishna, and that's why he sees neutral.
Well, now, neutrality is like this. You don't love something, and you don't hate it. Love and hate are two sides of the same coin.
Hmm.
What is the coin?
The coin is the
It's not a dime, it's not a penny.
Yeah.
It's attachment. Or let's say, no, it's more than attachment. It's attraction to something material. So you don't love it, you don't hate it, because you're not attracted to it, right? Just like, let's say you are attracted to your parents, right? So you can either love them or hate them, right? But you're not attracted to somebody else's parents, right? So you don't either love them or you don't even hate them, right? You're neutral. But because you're attracted to something material, you either love it or hate it. You see? So, because people are attracted to things in the material world, they either love it or they hate it. They're not neutral. I mean, there's so many parents in this world. Are you attracted or you hate any of them? No. You know, they're just neutral. But when you're attracted to something, you can either love it or hate it. So therefore, and we're talking about something material. So you're neutral in the material world. You're not attracted to it, and therefore you don't love it or hate it. Therefore, you can see objectively how to use it in Krishna's service. When you love something or hate it, you don't see objectively how to use it in Krishna's service. Now, this is a very important point, because most people either love or hate something or someone. Most people will either love or hate something or someone. Like someone say, "Oh, I love Breyer's ice cream, but I don't love Dyer's ice cream, Dwyer's ice cream." You know, there's two brands of ice cream. One is Breyers and one is Dryers, right? So they love the Breyers, they hate the Dryers, because they're attracted to ice cream. So they love one kind of ice cream, they don't like the other. See? If you're not attracted to ice cream, you don't say I love it or I hate it, then you're neutral, because you're not attracted to it. See? So as soon as you become attracted to the material world, either you love it or you hate it. Or you become attracted to a materialistic person, either you love them or you hate them. Just like some people love Trump. They love him, no matter what he says or what he does. And other people hate Trump, no matter what he says or what he does. You see? That's an example of hate and love based on materialistic attraction. But if you see Trump as a spirit soul and is related to Krishna, then you don't love him or you hate him. You just aren't trying to think, how can I use this person in the service of Krishna? How can I help this person become Krishna conscious? It's not based on, if you love them, then you would say, oh, I can't say this thing to him because he might not like it. And if you hate them, you say, I'm not going to say anything to him because I hate him. But if you don't love him or hate him, you think, what can I say that'll help this person become Krishna conscious? Well, I should tell him, you'll get more votes if you stop eating meat, and chant Hare Krishna. They'll say, well, wait a minute, I won't get any votes if I do that. I said, well, that doesn't matter. You'll go back to Godhead. So you see, you won't be able to give the right advice if you love or hate someone. But if you're not attracted to them materially, and you're only seeing their spiritual relationship with Krishna, then you can tell the truth. Yes.
So it's like when your mom makes something like that.
You love or hate.
Yeah, like they make something for you to eat.
Let's make really spicy dal.
Yeah. And then she asks you if it's good or not. You don't want to say no because then it hurts her feelings.
Well, you don't want to eat it either.
Yeah. But then wouldn't that be like the...
Yeah, because you have attachment. You can't say the truth. Yeah.
But they're my parents. I should love them, right?
No, yeah, but there are kids that hate their parents. So love and hate are two sides of the same coin. So the coin has a heads and tails, right? It's the same thing. It's based on attachment and attraction. But if you're attracted to Krishna, then you don't love or you don't hate anything. And you can see objectively, can I use this in Krishna's service? Okay. Now some people say, oh, that's bad. You're teaching people not to love their parents. No, we're teaching people to love Krishna. So if you love Krishna and your parents are Krishna conscious, you love them. And if you love Krishna and your parents are not Krishna conscious, you'll help them become Krishna conscious.
I got it.
Okay? Even if it means you have to sacrifice your whole life. You see? But if you love someone and you're attached to them materially, and your love is basically materially attached, because as long as they satisfy your sense gratification, you say you love them, right? But that's a false relationship, because if they do something you don't love, then now you say I hate them.
Like if they don't buy you...
Yes, right, exactly. They don't buy you something.
Oh, I want this phone. It's like $500 and they don't buy it. You're going to say, I hate you now.
Yeah, exactly. See, because it's two sides of the same coin. You can go very quickly from I love you to I hate you based on a materialistic relationship. Just like there was a kid, I mean, it's not one kid, it's happened many times now. The kid killed his mother and father. Yeah. It's in the news all the time now. It's not just one kid that's done it. It's many kids that have done it. Because they wouldn't let them play video games. No, I'm not kidding you. So the love became hate because it was all based on sense gratification. If you don't, just like some people are not going to vote for Trump because he didn't give them something that he promised to give. Whatever, right? A wall, yeah. So you see, love and hate are two sides of the same coin. What is the coin? The coin is attraction to sense gratification. Okay? So therefore a devotee is neutral. Doesn't love anything, doesn't hate anything material. But he or she loves Krishna. So because he loves Krishna, he's not attracted to anything for sense gratification. But because he loves Krishna, if there's someone who's not Krishna conscious, he doesn't hate them. But he'll try and help them become Krishna conscious. Okay? If you understand this concept of neutrality, and why? Because of your love for Krishna, you remain neutral to love and hate in the material world based on sense gratification. Therefore, you might sacrifice so many things in order to help people become Krishna conscious. But if you hate them, you won't sacrifice anything for them. So it'll hold you back. And if you love them in a material sense, for sense gratification, then you'll ignore Krishna consciousness because of that phony love. You see, this is difficult for most people to understand because it's transcendental. What does it mean to be transcendental from the material world? You're not attracted to anything in the material world, and you don't hate anything in the material world. Therefore, you can objectively think about how to help people become Krishna conscious. Just like if you, let's say you're a doctor, and someone comes in to the hospital that's been very seriously injured in an accident. In other words, let's say their intestines are hanging out of their stomach, and their arm is detached almost. It's still there, but 3/4 detached. And they're bleeding all over the place, right? The doctor doesn't like it, nor does he dislike it. He's going to have to do his job. So he's going to see how to attach the arm again, how to put the intestines back into the stomach and sew it up. And if there's anything broken, he has to repair it. See? But if you see it, you say, "Oh my God, I can't, I'm going to faint. This is horrible," right? Because you're attached to the body, and now you're seeing a person, and let's say it's a person that you like, it looks like they're going to die in any minute because there's blood all over the place, the intestines are out of the body, the arm is like, it's hardly attached, it's going to fall off in a second, right? You get all emotional and you don't know what to do, you start crying or you're going to faint, But the doctor's just standing there figuring out, how am I going to attach the arm, how am I going to put the intestines back in and sew it up. He's objective. You're not objective because you became emotional because of your attachments to matter, to material things. So you can't see objectively. What does it mean to see objectively, Pranav? Is that the answer? You don't see Okay. Anybody else want to answer the question? Yes. What does it mean to see objectively? You're not attached or detached? No, you see objectively. How can I put the intestines back in? Are the intestines injured? if this part of the intestines are injured, I have to sew it up. And then I'm going to put it back in correctly into the body, and then I'm going to sew up the body. Right? And the arm is 3/4 detached. It's hanging like this, you know. But I can see the bones are not broken, but some of the tendons and ligaments are broken. So I know the names of each one. I know how to attach them back. See, the doctor's looking objectively. But you're looking at, oh my God, oh, what's going to happen? Oh, I'm going to faint, and, you know, like that, you know. Because you're attached. The doctor's not attached. He's objective. Yes.
So objectively is looking how to solve the problem, not necessarily like loving
Not
it
being
or hating
affected
it.
by the problem.
Oh, okay.
You're not affected by the blood. You're not affected by the intestines hanging out of the body. You're not affected by the arm that's almost ready to fall off. You're looking, how can I get this back together again? How can I do this? And I know each one of the ligaments. I know each one of the tendons. I know each one of the bones. I've studied these things. And I've already had experience solving this type of problem because I was a doctor in the military in Vietnam. And I had to sew people back together again, you know, even worse than this case. This is only an accident in Vietnam. I had to sew people back together. They were blown up by a bomb. And then also, if I have to cut the arm off to save the person's life, I'll cut it off. Right? But only if it's absolutely necessary. Now, you and I, we wouldn't be able to even think like that, you know. We'd be, oh my God, oh, what's going to happen? You know. But the doctor is objective. Yes.
Can I say my homework?
What?
Can I say my homework?
Yeah. Were you here last week?
No.
Okay. Where'd you get your homework from? Okay.
So the question was, you were supposed to read 14.19, 14.20, and 14.22 to 14.25. And you had to figure out the difference between a liberated soul and a conditioned soul. And a liberated soul is, like, you have to know what it is, and it is one who has no envy for the material objects, and one who is not under the three modes of nature, and one who is in transcendental goodness. A liberated soul is regulative and does not hate illumination or attachment and delusion when they are present or long for them when they disappear, nor do they desire it. A liberated soul is one who is unwavering and undisturbed throughout all the reactions of the material qualities. And a liberated soul is remaining neutral, which means he can see objectively and transcendently, knowing that the modes are active. And it is also who is situated in self and regardless alike happiness and distress.
What does it mean when the modes are active? He sees only that the actions of people under the modes. It's the modes that's forcing people to act. Whereas if you ask the people, are the modes forcing you to act? What modes? I don't believe in that. That's a bunch of hogwash. You know, I'm choosing to do this. So, why are they saying like that when we're saying it's the modes that are acting? Well, they don't even know what the real thing is. They don't know the real thing, so it's not that they want to avoid doing the real thing. Why did they say, I don't believe in that hogwash modes, you know, that's some Hindu thing? Well, because, okay, to answer that question, you go to 3rd chapter, 9th verse. Yajnarta karmanonyatra lukumam karma bandhanai. Tadartam kunteya sangap samachara. Let's see what that says. Work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed. Otherwise, work causes bondage. in this material world. Therefore, O son of Kunti, perform your prescribed duties for his satisfaction, and in that way you'll always remain free from bondage. Okay, let's read the purport. Okay, well, we'll start with Arush, then we'll go to Pranav, then we'll go to KR, and then we'll go to Agastya. Everybody read, let's see, 2 sentences. Go ahead.
Since one has to work even for the simple maintenance of the body,
Okay, it's
the
maintenance. Yeah. Maintenance. It's like
the
the French
prescribed
pronunciation.
duties
Maintenance.
of a particular social position and quality are so made that purpose can be fulfilled. Young
One more sentence.
Yajna means Lord Vishnu or sacrificial performances.
Okay, Pranav, take it.
It's pranay.
Oh, Pranav, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Pranay.
All sacrificial performances also are meant for the satisfaction of Lord Vishnu. The Vedas enjoin Yajna Vaivishna.
Vaivishnu.
Vaivishnu.
Enjoin. You know what enjoin means?
When you join something.
No. It means like you're obliged to do it. You should do it.
In other words, the same purpose is served whether one performs prescribed yajnas or directly serves Lord Vishnu.
Okay, good. Next.
Okay. Krishna consciousness is therefore the performance of yajna as it is prescribed in this verse. The Varnashrama institution also aims at satisfying Lord Vishnu.
Varnashrama charavata purushena parak pumam Vishnu aradyate. Okay, Agastya.
Therefore, one has to work for the satisfaction of Vishnu. Any other work done in this material world will be a cause of bondage, for both good and evil work have their reactions, and any reaction binds the performer.
Okay, so that's the answer. If you don't work for Krishna, then the modes take over. See? The modes take over. Why? Because now you're working under the impression that you are the doer, this body is you, and the goal of life is sense gratification, and you love things and you hate things. Just like someone will say, oh, I hate eating in Dairy Queen. I love eating in Burger King. Yeah, it's a king and queen. Right. So, you know, now because you're attached to sense gratification, you love something, you hate something, and the modes are directing you to go to Burger King and not to go to Dairy Queen, right? And so forth. See, all of a sudden you're under the influence of the modes now. Now, if you were serving Krishna, you would say, I don't want to go to Dairy Queen. I don't want to go to Burger King. I don't love them. I don't hate them. I'm simply following what Harivilas said. Don't eat meat. Right? So Dairy Queen, although it sounds like it's dairy, but they also serve meat and eggs. Right. They have what? Eggs in the restrooms. Oh, or their ice cream, yeah. Yeah, I thought you said they have eggs in all their restrooms. Okay. So this verse, now let's read that again. What does it say? Therefore, one has to work for the satisfaction of Vishnu. Any other work done in this material world would be a cause of bondage, for both good and evil work have their reactions, and any reaction binds the performer. So the modes are, another word for the modes or gunas is rope. What does a rope do? It binds you, it ties you up, right? So as soon as we stop serving Krishna, immediately we're bound up by the modes. Then the modes are forcing us. Oh, I can smell that meat. It smells really good. You see, you get attracted by the modes. You know? Or, oh, I like this music. You know, it makes me move like this. And, you know, and so all of a sudden the modes are acting. You're not really acting now. They're forcing you to do things due to not being attracted to Krishna and being attracted to Maya.
How do you develop love for Krishna?
Well, is there anything that you love right now?
Yes.
There is.
Yes.
What? Give me an example of one thing.
My parents, my computer.
Ah, now you're talking. Now you're talking. Your computer, right? What else? Huh?
My redonda.
Okay. Bicycle. Okay.
Yeah, badminton.
What? Batman? What? Badminton.
Yeah, badminton, that racket.
The game. Okay. I thought you said Batman. Okay, so you see, do you think you'll love badminton when you're 40 years old?
No.
What changes?
My desire.
Yeah. So then can you say it's actually love? No. It's based on sense gratification.
So we have to get rid of that?
No, you asked me how can I develop love for Krishna?
Yeah.
Okay, well I'll answer after the opening of duties. Come on, I'm gonna get stupid eggs. Just stay with these stupid.
यशोमती नंदन गजबरनागर गोकुल कुंजन गाना गोपी परनधना मदन मनोहर कालिय दमन वेदा Okay, fine. Gopi Paranadana Madana Manohara Kaliya Damana Vedana Amala Harina Mamiya Vilasa Vipina Purandara Navina Nagaravara Vamsi Vadana Suvasa Vajajana Palana Sakula Nashana Nanda Godana Rakhavala Govind Madhava Navanita Taskara Sundara Nanda Gopala Yamuna Tata Chara Gopi Vasana Hara Rasa Rasika Kripa Moya Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Natabara Bhakti Vinodashaya Yashomati Nandana Vajbaranagara Gokula Ranjana Kana Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha, Nila Madhav Radha, Nila Madhav Radhe. Jaya Sita Ram, Jaya Sita Ram, Jaya Sita Ram, Jaya Lakshman Hanuman. Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha, Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha, Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha, Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
I got it from home, take this one.
Okay, get that.
Is class over?
So what we have to understand is when you don't serve Krishna, immediately the modes take over. It's either you act in life under the protection of Krishna, or you act in life under the force of the modes. Right? So when you're your question is how to love Krishna, how to develop love for Krishna, right? Okay. So that is explained in Bhagavad Gita in 1 second. Okay. Okay, it's third chapter. Okay, now, this is explained third chapter, verse number 41, the last paragraph in the purport. Right now, we don't know what real love is. What we have is called lust. Lust for computers. Lust for money. Lust for prestige. Lust for sense gratification. We don't have love. Now, let's read the last paragraph of third chapter, verse 41. Okay, you can read it. Huh? Yeah, okay, go ahead. We'll let Sanskriti read it. Oh, your homework. Oh, wait a minute. We have to read this first. You get your homework ready. You get it ready. We don't want to wait for you to get it ready. Go ahead. Read this.
Lust is the only perverted reflection of
Is only the perverted. Not
Lust?
is only. Lust is the
Oh,
perverted. No,
only
it's only the. Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Lust is only the perverted reflection of the love of God, which is natural for every living entity.
Okay, so you learned one thing. Love of God is natural.
Yeah.
It's our original position. But something has changed it into lust. Okay, go ahead.
But if one is educated in Krishna consciousness from the very beginning, that natural love of God cannot deteriorate into lust.
So let's assume that the natural love of Krishna has already been deteriorated into lust for all of us. Okay, which is true. Okay, go ahead.
When love of God deteriorates into lust, it is very difficult to return to the normal condition.
This is why you're asking the question, how can we develop love for Krishna? Because it's difficult.
Yeah.
Because we're now overwhelmed with lust.
Yes.
For video games, for computers, for cell phones, for this thing, for that thing. Okay, go ahead.
Nonetheless, Krishna consciousness is so powerful that even a late beginner can become a lover of God by following the regulated principles of devotional service.
Point one. Following, now the answer is starting. Point one. Following the regulative principles of Krishna consciousness is the first step in developing love for Krishna. Okay? Go, keep going.
So, from any stage of life, or from the time of understanding its urgency, one can begin regulating the senses in Krishna consciousness, devotional service of the Lord, and turn the lust into love of Godhead, the highest perfectional state of human life.
So you have to follow the regulative principles, and you begin to engage in regulated devotional service.
Yeah.
Not only you're following the regulative principles, but you're engaging in regulated devotional service. Right? Regulated means you must do it. It's not that, oh, I'm tired today, I'm not going to chant my rounds. No, you feel impelled, you feel obliged. I must do this. Why? Because I want to develop love for Krishna. Right now I have lust for computer games, lust for this, lust for that. It's not real. I don't really have real love. You know, real love means like this. If there's a reason not to love someone, but you continue to love them and serve them, that means you have real love. Like, let's say your mom and dad punish you for doing something wrong, and you say, I'm not going to love them anymore. They don't love me. Why would they do it? Right? Well, that means you have no love. Because if you have a reason not to love, but you continue to love, that means you really love. That means you really love. And what would the reason be? Well, because they denied you some sense gratification. Right? So now you're getting an idea. Love is a rare thing. In this world, there's almost 100% lust, not real love.
That's true.
Right? Why? Because people are attached to sense gratification. So how do you overcome sense gratification? You start to follow the rules and regulations of Krishna consciousness. No meat eating, no gambling, no this, no that, and this thing, that thing. Chant Hare Krishna like that, and then you engage full-time in devotional service. So when you achieve, and you'll eventually will achieve real love for Krishna, because it's a natural thing. We were originally lovers of Krishna, but we separate ourselves. So now when you love Krishna, then you'll be able to love people. Really love people. Not based on, you scratch my back, I scratch your back. You love me, and I love you. No, that's not love. Lust. Yeah. Because you don't scratch my back, I'm not going to scratch your back, and I don't love you anymore. You see. So, no. It's not based on scratching the back. Okay. It's based on loving Krishna. If you love Krishna, then you'll see Krishna in the heart of everybody. So you no longer have love or hate, you just have pure love. Right. Okay, so Sanskriti is going to read her homework. Yes.
A liberated soul is one who properly sees that in all activities no other performer is at work than the modes of material nature, and he knows the Supreme Lord, and the person who's transcendental to all these modes. And then when one is freed from the influence of the modes of material nature, he enters into devotional service. In other words, devotional service in Krishna consciousness is the sign of liberation from material entanglement. And then someone who is liberated is someone who... So a liberated person would not hate illumination, attachment, and delusion when they're present, or long for them when they disappear, who is unwavering and undisturbed through all these reactions of the material qualities, remaining neutral and transcendental, knowing that the modes alone are active, who is situated in the self and regards alike happiness and distress, who looks upon a lump of earth, a stone, and a piece of gold with an equal eye, who is equal towards the desirable and the undesirable, who is steady, situated equally in praise and blame, honor and dishonor, who treats alike both friend and enemy, and who has renounced all material activities. Such a person is said to have transcended the modes of nature. And then a person who is not liberated identifies the body as a self, is absorbed in material activities, thinks that they are the proprietor, is guided by their own personal material ambitions. They have the 4 defects. The first defect is that they commit mistakes. The second is that they're illusioned. Illusion means to accept something which is not true, like Maya. Maya is what is not. Everyone is accepting the body as a self. If you ask who you are, you will say, I am Mr. Joan, I am a rich man, I am this, I am that. But all these are bodily identifications. But you're not this body. This is illusion. The third defect is the cheating propensity. Everyone has a propensity to cheat others. Although a person is fool number 1, he poses himself as very intelligent. Although it is already pointed out that he is an illusion and makes mistakes, he will theorize that I think this is true or something. But he does not even know his own position. He writes books of philosophy although he is defective. That is his disease. That is cheating. Lastly, our senses are imperfect. We are very proud of our eyes. Often someone will challenge, can you show me God? But do you have the eyes to see God? You will never see if you don't have the eyes. If immediately the room becomes dark, you cannot even see your
Pranay,
hands.
you know what homework is for tomorrow? Who? KR. Krishna. Yeah, don't say KR. You miss saying Krishna when you say KR. You get no benefit saying KR. You only get a benefit by saying Krishna. Okay, good. Haribol.
If immediately the room becomes dark, you cannot even see your hands. So what power do you have to see? We cannot therefore expect knowledge with these imperfect senses. With all these deficiencies in conditioned life, we
Deficiencies, not deficiencies.
In conditioned life, we cannot give perfect knowledge to anyone, nor are we ourselves perfect.
Okay, I want you to read from the beginning a little bit. There's a question I have to ask you. Read from the beginning.
The whole thing again?
No, not the whole thing. I just want to hear the beginning couple sentences. There's a question I have to ask you.
The non-liberated one?
Just start from the beginning.
Oh, one who so a liberated person is one who properly sees that in all activities no other performer is at work than the modes of material nature, and he knows the Supreme Lord who is transcendental to all these modes. When one is freed
Keep reading.
When one is freed from the influence of modes of material nature, he enters into devotional service. In other words, devotional service in Krishna consciousness is the sign of liberation from material entanglement.
Keep going.
He who does not hate illumination, attachment, and delusion when they are present, nor longs for them when they disappear, who is unwavering and undisturbed through all the reactions of the material qualities, remaining neutral and transcendental, knowing that the modes alone are active, who is situated in the self and regards alike happiness and distress, who looks upon a lump of earth, a stone, and a piece of gold with the equal eye.
Okay, stop there. So one time a man asked Prabhupada a question. This was after his class, and he said, in the Bhagavad Gita it says that you should look with equal eye on earth, stone, and gold. He said, is this practical? And Prabhupada said, he said that this is a very high level of Krishna consciousness. You are not at that level. That's why you're asking this question. He said that, can you look equally now at gold or a stone and think they're both, you know, can you be equal to both? It's obviously not. You're at a stage of life right now where, he didn't say this, but he meant this, that you have lust for gold. Therefore, you cannot see it as equal to earth or stone. Right? But if you develop in Krishna consciousness, then you will be able to not see in this lusty way, but you'll see that there's really no difference between the lump of earth, the rock, and the stone, and the lump of gold. Therefore, you will use all three in the service of Krishna. Right? It's not that you only want the gold because you want it for yourself, and maybe you'll give a little bit to Krishna, but you'll keep most of it for yourself. No. So, yeah, the earth, you say, oh, I'll give it all to Krishna. You know. The rock, I'll give all the rocks to Krishna. The gold, I'll keep most of it myself. You know. You see, so you won't be able to see. You won't be able to see like that unless you've been engaged in devotional service. And devotional service is a slow process. That you don't transform lust into love overnight. It's going to take a long, long time. And Krishna is going to test you during that time. Because why? Because if you love Krishna, then you can conquer Krishna. So he's not going to give himself cheaply. You're going to have to really earn the position of pure love for Krishna. And it takes a long time. It's not overnight. It might be a little bit easier if you start early in life, very early in life. But if you're starting later on in life, it's very difficult to transform the lust into love. It's almost impossible. But it is possible if you strictly follow the regulative principles and keep engaged also, always. So, homework. What? Yeah. Okay, what is it? It's the junk science, right? Yeah. Okay, read it out loud real quick. Microphone. Oh, did you do your homework? Okay, you read your homework first. Go ahead. So, very good, Sanskriti. Very good.
A living entity knows of his spiritual position, his material body, his senses, and how he is under the spell of the material modes of nature from a bona fide spiritual master.
Let me ask you a question. What's the easy way to know that you're under the modes of material nature? What's the easy way to know it? You have any idea?
No.
That's all right. So, Mr. Krishna.
It's when you neither love, wait, you're asking how do you know if someone...
What's the easy way to know if you're free of the modes of material nature? Okay, wait a minute. Let Arush. What are you going to say, Arush? Is that all? Okay, what was Prabhuji going to say? Under the influence of the modes. What? Yeah. No, that's if you are under the... How do you know if you're not under the modes? Doing what? Yeah, that's the point. If you're always engaged in devotional service, 24 hours a day, then you know that you're not under the modes of material nature. Okay? All right, go ahead. Now read the rest.
Yeah. This knowledge helps him become fixed in full Krishna consciousness and thus becomes liberated. A liberated person...
That's the what? That's the what?
Huh?
That's what?
Thus becomes liberated.
Yeah, okay. Because he's always Krishna conscious, is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
A liberated person is one who has been relieved from the modes of material nature.
As what?
Huh?
Read that sentence again slowly.
A liberated person is one who has been relieved from the modes of material nature.
Relieved, is that the word, relieved? Okay.
Yeah. By material nature by surrendering to Krishna.
Okay.
The signs of a liberated person are that he is free from the influence of the modes of material nature when he is even in this body, material body. Such a person engages himself in full devotional service to Krishna.
That's the main point. If you're engaged always in the service of Krishna, you will not be influenced by the modes of material nature. Go ahead.
A liberated person has the following qualities. 1. Is undisturbed by all the reactions of material qualities.
Very good.
2. Considers happiness and distress to be alike. 3. Looks upon a stone and a piece
considers happiness and distress to be alike? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Be the same?
I guess.
Well, no. Is not affected by happiness or distress. It's not that they're alike or they're the same. Is not affected by happiness or distress.
Looks upon a stone and a piece of gold with an equal eye.
Can you look on a piece of gold and a stone with an equal eye right now?
No.
No.
4 is situated equally in praise and blame, love and hate, and honor and dishonor, and all the opposite of the positive things. 5 treats both friend and enemy equally. 6 does not attempt.
Anyone think they can do these things right now? Right. So that's why I say it takes a long time, many years of devotional service to free yourself from these type of feelings. Go ahead.
6 does not attempt anything for his sake and will attempt anything for Krishna.
Now wait a minute. Read that again.
6 does not attempt anything for his sake and will attempt anything for Krishna.
Okay, good. That's
a
it?
little bonus.
Huh?
I have a bonus.
Go ahead.
Now let us understand how a person attains this liberated state. When a person is engaged in the service of any of the forms of Krishna, he is considered to be liberated or in full Krishna consciousness. For such a person, overcoming the 3 modes of material nature is very simple.
Howdy bo. So what does it mean? Very good. Now, what does it mean to be engaged in any of the forms of Krishna? What does that mean? What forms are we talking about?
Chanting?
What forms are we talking about? You have an idea?
Chanting?
No.
Forms of Krishna?
Forms of Krishna. He says any of the forms. Yes, Arush. Yes. Like, for example? What? Yes, Nrsingadev, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yeah. And Krishna. It's considered the incarnation of Krishna in the age of Kali. It's not different than Krishna. But here he's talking about the forms that would be like Arush said, Nrsingadev, Lord Chaitanya, Matsya Avatar, Kurma, and so forth. Different forms of the Lord. Okay. Okay, good. Very good. Yes. Okay. Let's hear it.
So the question was, what are the qualities of a liberated person versus a non-liberated person? So a liberated person is a devotee. A devotee is not controlled by the spell of material nature, since he enjoys life on a spiritual platform. His desires for sense gratificational activities has stopped, since he is engaging himself in Krishna conscious activities. The devotee sees everyone equally, since he has realized that he has nothing to do with material existence. He sees a lump of earth, stone, and gold equally. He's equal towards the desirable and the undesirable, and he treats both a friend and an enemy alike. And he executes Krishna conscious activities with determination. A non-liberated person is under the modes of material nature, good, misfaction, and ignorance. He enjoys material existence not on the spiritual platform. He engages in sense gratification, for example, meat eating, intoxication, illicit connections, and wait, what's the first one again?
Okay, meat eating, intoxication, illicit connections, and
Gambling,
yeah.
And he does not see everyone equally. He might see some people higher than him, or he might see some people lower than him. And he might see a piece of gold higher than a lump of earth or stone.
Yes. That's it? Good. Thank you. Very good. Okay, now, homework. Well, oh yeah, okay, read that real quick.
Several features make science different from other human endeavors. First, science deals only with the natural world. Scientific endeavors never concern in any way supernatural phenomena of any kind.
Right, so that, in other words, we don't accept that there's a spiritual world, that there's God, and blah, blah, blah. Right? That's it? You going to read any more? Okay, good. Thank you. And where is this taken from?
From our science sources of our competition.
The science of biology. Actually, it should be the science of nonsensology. How old are you? What? You're not allowed to be. I have a machine. I can put you in a machine and it makes you smaller. You want to go in that machine? Oh, okay. Okay, the homework is the following. This is chapter 3, verse 41. No, 41 and then 42. First of all, explain how to turn lust into love. And then that's from 41. And then when you read 42, it's going to give you a lot more information of how to turn lust into love. So you read those two verses.
So it's explain how to turn lust to love, that's it? And the verses?
That's it, but that's enough. If you do that, you'll be liberated. Yeah. Yeah. Haribol.